Someone stole my effing porch. Why are you stealing someone's porch? I opened my door and fell. You can't have shit in Detroit. Oh my fucking god. Hi YouTube, back in hell. My name is Cypress and today we'll be watching another GeoPoll video. This one is USA States Explained Part 1.
America, the land of freedom, fast food, highways, oil, eagles, and you know those fun, wholesome, harmless steel devices.
Oh yeah, those are very wholesome.
Obviously I'm talking about cars, which you can use to travel from one state to another, of which there are 50 spanning 6 time zones, 4 million miles of road, and 200,000 fast food restaurants. Well, today we're going to be going through those states.
I mean, America's big though.
One by one and ranking them all on this beautiful tier list. Little disclaimer, this video is going to be in 2 parts because I want to make sure I actually talk about every state and not rush any essential analysis, maybe with the exception of South Dakota. Yeah, anyway, the one unified video would just be far too long for some of you guys' attention spans. I would have to start incorporating some Subway Surfers gameplay. You get the idea. Our first state up is Florida, the ancestral land of...
I have not heard a lot about Florida. I just know people make fun of Florida. I don't really know why.
Florida man,
oh yeah, Florida man. Florida man claiming people were eating his brains, leads police on insane golf course chase. What? Florida man wrecks liquor shop, blames Caterpillar. What?
The mecca for redneck hillbillies and Disney adults alike. Hear me out right, these guys have to get an honorary S. Out of respect, because this state is truly the pinnacle of America. Everything they stand for, everything they fantasize about, other states could only dream about the simply humongous amount of soulless corporate slop malls, the most gigantic, colossal, nauseating suburbs this world.
Wait, but this actually looks cool. If you're in the sky, if you're looking down, it looks cool.
Ever seen the sheer lack of any minorly usable public transport, the highway systems? Oh my god, it's enough to make President Truman ascend into the clouds. Just look at this That's a 2-hour drive, bro. Only in Florida.
Is it just a road? Damn.
That's right, we only use boats to suspiciously traffic that one specific sugary, energizing, addicting
Whoa, hold on. What are we talking about?
Into Miami. Hell yeah. I'm talking about Coca-Cola. Obviously, I'm talking about Coca-Cola. I mean, almost 70% of Florida residents drink Coca-Cola daily.
Is that bad? How much Coca-Cola daily are we talking about? Like 1 glass of Coca-Cola? Or like a lot of glasses of Coca-Cola daily? Because I think most days I have like 1 glass of Coca-Cola. Mine is 0 sugar and 0 caffeine. So I guess it's a little bit better. But I don't think it's that bad, depending on how much they're drinking daily. And I guess how much other stuff they're eating and drinking daily. I don't know. I'm not a health professional.
Nah, these guys have to get an S. It's unnegotiable. Next up, Georgia. Man, what can I say? King Carly, UFC, Stalin, Skibbity Toilet. These guys are seriously producing some of the best contributions to our world.
I don't know if Skibbity Toilet is one of the best contributions in the world, but okay.
Wait, hold up. Oh, no. Yeah, this state is just mid, honestly. They got one of the world's worst managed urban sprawls. But I'm gonna bump them up because of this sheer megalith of music to come out of this state. Anyone from Ray Charles to Gucci Mane, I'm almost certain your favorite music legitimately wouldn't exist without the influence of this one ugly American city. Also, peaches. You know a state's gonna be amazing when their entire pride is based around one fruit that they're okay at growing.
Oh, how interesting.
How that peach cobbler tasting?
It's alright. I had better at the school cafeteria.
He said better than the school cafeteria? This man is brave.
They can get medium C out of respect. Man, South Carolina is just like Georgia, but without any of the redeeming qualities that Georgia has. Their biggest city has...
So they don't have good musicians, right?
150,000 people? Hell nah, bro. What? I was trying to find a reason not to put you guys in D. So I looked up things South Carolina's known for. Comes up with the city of Columbia. You guys find me one person who hears the word Colombia and thinks of South Carolina.
I know. When I hear the word Colombia, I think of the country Colombia.
Bro, Colombia, British Columbia, Columbus, Christopher Columbus.
No one thinks of South Carolina.
District of Columbia, the fucking Coke brand. Ain't no one thinking about South Carolina, bro. Sorry to break it to you. I really got no reason
South
to put South Carolina any higher than E. Sorry, guys. On the other hand, North Carolina. This is the cool sibling. This is the well-fed sibling.
Damn you,
this
North
is
Carolina.
the only sibling worth giving a fucking visit. And let's be real here. This is
South Carolina. Oh, I would feel so sad if I was South Carolina.
the good ending. Anyway, North Carolina, it's in the top 10 states for population. They got a
They have good dressed people in North Carolina.
diverse natural
I like
landscape
this. I
and
like
a diverse
this.
economy.
These
It
men in
birthed
suits.
The aeroplane, Pepsi,
Oh.
Krispy Kreme, mini golf, Fred Durst, the machine gun.
The
Wow.
machine gun. I don't feel bad for South Carolina anymore. North Carolina's cool.
What a breathtaking fleet of goddamn American innovations, man. I never thought I'd do this, but I think I'm willing to put one of the Carolinas in A, you know.
Let's
now,
go!
Virginia. I don't know, man. All that
Virginia.
comes to mind is the Appalachian Mountains. So,
Me in Appalachia getting gutted by an eldritch horror beyond human comprehension. A random hillbilly who had warned me hours earlier to not go wandering in them woods.
Now, from my understanding, Virginia is split into a few subdivisions. To the west, you got... To the north, you got people that get that DC money, use that
Nice.
DC Metro, pay them DC taxes, but also get really, really offended if you refer to them as being from DC, not Northern Virginia. And then you got the southeast, which is just frat bros and sparkly teeth, spray tanned
Sparkly
Jersey
teeth.
construction trash. I'm feeling a D. Maryland. I've got to give these guys credit where credit's due. They didn't name themselves.
Why is he eating so much cookies? Why is he drinking so... I'm already getting nauseous.
After one of the greatest confectionery items ever created.
Oh,
I
the
respect
Maryland
that.
chocolate
Now,
chip
this
cookies?
is a pretty small state, so I'm gonna end up basing 100% of my analysis off of Baltimore. And man,
Baltimore.
what a city. Baltimore, despite being a relatively small, seriously mid city, manages to somehow constantly remain relevant in the world.
Baltimoreans, when their city goes viral once again for little to no reason. How are they doing that?
Violent fatal bridge collapses or famous TV shows or that freaking accent, bruh.
Playboy says, "Check line my jit or you until I see those snap buttons. Don't know who snacks. You want to see the alcohol burners and snap?"
Plus, I've got to give them some points for being one of the few American states with a half-decent flag. But that being
Wow, how
said, I think
pretty.
you guys are being hella greedy, right? Give this bit of land to West Virginia, man. God knows they need it. For now, I'm going to give them an E, but, you know, I might bump it up depending on how many angry Baltimoreans I get in the comments. Now, Delaware. Hey, I've got
Delaware.
nothing bad to say about Delaware, yo. Please, someone hook me up with that Delaware tax status, man. Yo, I'ma represent you guys. I just want that. Now, really though, the only thing
Delaware does not have a state sales tax rate. Delaware does not have an estate tax or inherit.
has going for it is its tax status and its OG status. And I mean real OG status. For my Brits, imagine the Guernsey of America. For my Europeans, imagine the Monaco of America.
Oh, thank you. I was confused. Thank you for that comparison.
Get the deal. There's a lot of Delawareans with this fit and this type of humor.
White shirt plus white shorts is billionaire. That was funny. What was that? And I thought I had bad humor. What was that?
New Jersey.
This looks fucking beautiful. The
Why
hell
does
is
bro
this?
think everything is Jersey?
Bayonne, New Jersey. It's on the water in Bayonne. Look at this. It's on the water in Bayonne.
Now,
That did not look like
it might be one of
Bayonne.
the ugliest places on the face of planet Earth. Yes, they might all leech off New York's economy and then beat you to a pulp if you slightly insinuate that they even resemble a New Yorker. But look, man, I
What's
watched
wrong with looking
too
like a
much
New Yorker?
Sopranos to not give Jersey at least a C.
How about that prick's face when he shot a gat?
This show has had so much of an impact on me that I was in Italy calling any cut of meat I saw
I have not seen this
I
show.
quite possibly unknowingly created a few lifelong nemesises with that. But whatever. New Jersey's getting a high D or a low C. I don't care. Pennsylvania. So Philly
Pennsylvania.
is, in my opinion, one of North America's best cities, okay?
Okay, after further research, I can confirm that that was completely incorrect, and I do not stand by that statement. But this next bit still kind of stands anyway, okay?
Surprisingly good city planning, public transport, and greenery for an American city. Maybe because it was founded, designed, and built by Europeans. Either way, this city...
Yeah, I wanted to say, like, it kind of reminds me of here. This specific part that he was showing reminds me of here.
Either way, this city is home to Frank, okay? Also, Philly cheesesteak, or also this guy.
What you doing, dickhead? Dickhead? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo!
Yo!
So look, if we're basing Pennsylvania's rating off Philly alone, we could be looking at S. But unfortunately, I gotta take into account... My theory is, because Pennsylvania is so unnecessarily big, they got 20 million fucking people. Basically, they just exist as their own thing, and therefore develop their own deep south, and it's west of the state, which is off the rails, bro. It's straight up a stronghold of redneckness, a slice of Alabama in the north of the US, where you can find moonshine flowing, guns toting, money owing, corn growing, patriotism showing, truck towing, lawn mowing, dinghy rowing, church going, crop sowing, eagle crowing Americans. A tier. New York. Now, I've already talked about New York too much on this channel, so I won't bang on about it for too long. But importantly, in this state exists the biggest city in America. One of the most powerful, most important mega cities in the world. A magical place where dudes like this and dudes like this can peacefully coexist on the same train home.
I always see this guy on the internet, this subway guy.
Of humanity. A role model to every other Western city. The proof.
Yo, what the hell is wrong with you, yo, Diddy?
Why would you do that?
You just kissing random people?
Yes! Okay then.
I walked in that jail for the first time. You know what I smell?
Riker Island prison guard refused what a girl's prison cell smells like.
I smell butt ass. Butt ass.
Butt ass! Okay, thank you! Thank you for that information. I always wondered what a girl's prison cell smells like. Oh my god!
It was so bad. I mean, the funk hit you like, boom.
I knew I wasn't tripping. Why the fuck is it all this bread? Like,
what the f*** why is there bread there?
What the fuck is going on?
Hey, yo,
what's your wildest subway experience?
Bro, this place is amazing. I mean, I probably would not want to live here, but this place is amazing for content.
I came from, I seen a pigeon get on for one stop and then get off on the next one. Like, you could have flew there, my nigga.
Sometimes pigeon is also lazy, doesn't want to fly, and just wants to take the subway, man.
New York is an easy S tier. It's like Pennsylvania, but better.
God.
They got everything.
These clips were amazing.
Connecticut. My pretty uninformed opinion of this state is that it's basically one big suburb of New York City. Almost 100% residential detached family homes. Yes, they might have some of the most prestigious colleges in the world, but overall, it's generally like under-seasoned New York. It's like Timu, New York. For example, the famous staple pizza in Connecticut is essentially New York-style pizza, but without the cheese. Bro, that's like selling me a car with no wheels. That's like a house with no roof. I know you guys are kind of meant to be the cleverest Americans, but yo, taking cheese off pizza is seriously one of the lowest IQ moves a human could make. If this is the kind of thing they're proud of inventing, Connecticut's getting a low score, man. They can get a low C. Right, next up.
Low C, I would have put them lower for that.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Ain't no fucking reason for this state to exist, bro. Rhode Island is like Delaware if they had tweakers instead of millionaires. It's like Delaware if the Biden family was only Hunter Biden. Rhode Island is really the outcast of New England, the unloved sibling. They got the worst potholes in the country, some of the most potent strain of tweakers in the country, one of the worst reputations in the country. I mean, I know they got Joey, but I think in a good timeline, the only
I don't know who Joey is.
Rhode Island we have on a planet is this one. Sorry guys, you know where you're going. Right, Massachusetts. In my eyes, this is a very decent state. Obviously they got Boston, home to
the state on its way to flood what towns to make a water supply for Boston was.
A city where everyone's got a silly accent. They eat lots of lobster. I've heard people are quite friendly in the same way Northerners in the UK are friendly, which is that they're also very mean, but they're also like friendly. It's hard to explain. Once again, like with Philly and New York, Boston was actually built by people that have some regard for cities being pretty and green and efficient and walkable and nice. But for some reason, everyone from other East Coast states seems to fucking hate Boston. I don't know why, but it's like they all for once come together in a unified alliance to just shit on Massachusetts.
Bacon, egg, and cheese in Boston. What the what are we doing here? Hey, look at the egg. A square slice of SpongeBob's ass.
SpongeBob's ass, ew!
Prosthetic bacon is what I'm looking at for $7.50. Fucking $8 for this shit.
7? That thing does not look like it's worth that at all. It looks really dry too.
For this fucking nightmare.
I guess a big negative about this state is the winters. But overall, Boston seems kind of like a Leeds or Manchester American equivalent. Pretty decent, but fucking cold.
I have to look at that guy's teeth.
However, have a sweet spot for that northern charm. I think it's the Swedish blood in me. So I'm gonna give you guys a strong B. Alright, now we're on to this top northern corner. And I don't know if this is controversial to say. Can we just consolidate this into one state? In a country where Texas and California exist, there ain't no reason why New Hampshire and Vermont aren't at least smushed together. Anyway, I'm gonna go through these pretty quickly, as the probability that someone from Maine is watching this right now is like 1 in 5,000. However, Maine is definitely the coolest out of these, alright? They got spooky evil creatures and shit. They got...
Maine was found to have the highest frequency of ghost sightings in the country, with 56 sightings per every 100,000 people? What? Maine is the ghostliest state in America. Oh, if you're from Maine, let me know. Have you seen a ghost if you're from Maine? Or if you have been in Maine?
They got serious lobster-related economic prosperity.
90% of the country's lobster supply comes from Maine. Whoa, that's a lot. The state produces 100 million pounds of premium lobster each year. Jesus, let's go.
In economic prosperity, they got a fucking desert. They got hillbillies. And most importantly, my Scandinavian ancestors were out there way before.
Yeah, but everything in Maine.
Years before Columbus. Maine is getting a B. Hey, I like a good freaky evil spot like that, man. Hit me up if you got a ranch in Maine, bro. I need to visit. New Hampshire is basically a more boring version of Maine. Less freaky, less lobster. I was really looking for some fun facts or something about this state. I literally couldn't find shit. Please, New Hampshireans, comment if I'm wrong here. But you know a state is bad when you look up its fun facts, and the first thing that comes up is that they have around 1,000 lakes. Boy, that ain't shit. Don't come to me, a half British, half Scandinavian man, and brag about your amount of lakes. If you're not Canadian, you are gonna lose that one.
Canada contains more than 2 million lakes. Jesus.
Vermont, bro, you know how tiny of a population you gotta have to be under fucking North Dakota? You know how little citizens you gotta have to just minorly beat Wyoming? Oh, nah, bro. All I could find about these guys is that they make some pretty mid ice cream, and they put out an arrest warrant for George Bush because of the Iraq War, which is pretty fucking awesome. That being said, though, you guys are getting a D like New Hampshire. Whatever.
Sorry.
On to the glorious Midwest, starting with somewhere I have a little history with. You know, everyone's favorite state, Ohio. They got
I love Ohio.
corn. They got... I'm struggling. Ohio's kind of interesting because on one hand, they got the most dilapidated urban wastelands. On the other hand, they have these crazy rural Amish communities that are like America's version of the Sentinel Island uncontacted tribes. Truly a state with great variety. One thing I truly didn't comprehend about Ohio was how many fucking people live there. It's the 7th most populous state. That being said, it's the only one out of the top 30 most populated states that has a declining population.
Oh, it's declining.
More people want to move to Alabama.
Move to Ohio or jump into a pool of steaming red hot bubbling lava. Me. Oh, what's wrong with Ohio?
And for that reason, we could see Ohio lose its top 10 status in the future, which isn't surprising, seeing as it's apparently pretty common to find Ohio natives cosplaying as being from other cool parts of the US.
Cosplaying as of them from other parts. How do you even do that?
Trust me, right? Go to the trendiest block in Brooklyn. Go to the most...
Oh, wait. Although I think it's probably easy because everything is so far away from each other. So, like, the culture, maybe the style is also different from state to state.
Most hipster coffee shop you can see. Go up to the guy with the suspiciously thick New York accent, the Yankee cap, and the hipster beard sitting at the window, faking
It's
reading
secretly
a
in
book.
Ohio?
Ask him which borough he grew up in. 1000% he's gonna stutter a bit, look up at you with shame in his eyes and quietly mutter, I'm actually from Upper Arlington in Columbus, man, but please don't tell anyone. All that hate aside, I'm probably gonna end up ranking Ohio above some of the other Midwest states, purely because...
But what has happened with Ohio that everyone is making fun of Ohio? I'm so confused why everyone is making fun of Ohio.
It has the population, it has the big cities, the manpower, and it has a half relevant importance in terms of my career. So, you know, I gotta represent. Indiana. I'm sure Indianans will get angry at me for saying this one, but I think the state is pretty similar to Ohio, just more flat and more rural. And instead of having 3 big cities, they have 1. If anything, I guess it looks a little more aesthetically pleasing than some of the other Rust Belt states, especially if you f with corn. Unless you go north, where there is a almost entirely abandoned
capital
ghost town called Gary, a place so inhospitable that they just barricade the highway exit that goes to Gary. Anything to keep humans out of that place. I think in an old video I actually promised I'd visit Gary, Indiana one day, so it might be on the cards soon. We'll see. Either way, it's not looking good for Indiana, bro. I'm sorry to do this, but right next to Gary, however, there exists one of the great American cities, Chicago, Illinois, home of the bean, Kanye, deep dish pizza. What more could you want from a city? Well, quite a bit more, to be fair.
I wanted to say, like, is that all?
12 million people. This city has a completely inefficient, unreliable public transport network.
Oh my god!
Some of the worst neighborhoods in the Western Hemisphere. Fucking shitloads of pollution, all types, and in general, it's a pretty minging place. But that being said, the cultural relevance of Chicago can't be understated. The amount of music, art, etc. that's come out of here. I like how they make the river green on St. Patrick's Day, much to the amusement of actual Irish people. I like how they put cheese under the tomato sauce.
Where's the cheese?
It's under the sauce.
There's no cheese on it.
It's under the sauce.
I'm Italian and this is hurting me.
It's from Chicago.
It's just sauce.
The cheese is under the sauce.
That's not cheese.
Cheese is under the sauce.
Cheese under the sauce. I want to try that.
The rest of Illinois. I know it's very frustrating for Illinois citizens how everyone thinks their state is only Chicago. So I came up with a map labeling the entire state. First off, we got Abraham Lincoln's house. Then we got amphetamine abuse. Then we got the bean. And then we got corn. That should lay it out more fairly.
Thank you.
I'm thinking
Thank you.
low D for you guys at best. Then we got Michigan. Famously, best tap water in the country. Famously, least potholes in the country.
I bought 3 tires just in 1 week. It's to the point I don't want to drive on the street.
Famously, one of the most prosperous and upcoming economies in the country. Famously, beautiful, sunny, mild winters. Famously, one of the most reliable, forward-thinking public transport networks in the country.
Riding the bus in Detroit is extremely risky. Drive or use Uber if you value your life.
Famously, cuisine mecca, one of the world's prime locations for fine dining.
What is that?
Oh my god, man, Michigan is a mess. Cities like Detroit, Flint, they've almost reached complete meme status for just how bad they are.
Someone stole my effing porch. Why are you stealing someone's porch? I opened my door and fell. You can't have shit in Detroit. Oh my fucking god. Oh. What is happening?
For example, right, Detroit was meant to get this big sign like Hollywood. This was the original plan they proposed.
Oh, really?
And, yo, this is what they ended up building.
What? That's not like it at all.
Build a small-scale infrastructure project without getting fucking roasted. It's crazy.
Now here we go, and we about to get some shit. Now they done order us a sign off Wish. I thought our sign was gonna look like Hollywood. That's probably why they put this bitch right by the hood. Then we about to get some shit shit, they really just hold us. Then gave us a sign in times of Roman. And we just keeping it real, we ain't never hated. I think I seen a bigger sign at a graduation. Hey, man, we must have got these letters on a discount. We ain't blow too hard, fuck around and knock this shit down.
You know, some of those clear negatives aside, I gotta give it to these guys. They got some spirit, they got some soul, they got some good fucking energy, man. Plus, despite the state shrinking in population and influence recently, you gotta admit, bro, Michigan culturally is low-key more influential than all the other Midwest states combined. So many musicians, so many bands, athletes, inventors, they got everything, man. Bro, Germany straight up wouldn't have music if it wasn't for Detroit. You know that Berlin style techno music, right? That all Germans bump. Just guess who invented that shit. What the hell would depressed leather-wearing Germans do without Michigan, man? So I gotta give them a low C out of respect. Danny Brown is like my lifelong idol, bruh. They have to be above Illinois. Wisconsin. It sounds like it should be part of Canada. Wisconsin. You know what I mean? I also say that because back in the day, there was this poor dude from Wisconsin who'd never left the Midwest before until his family moved to fucking Birmingham, UK. I felt so sorry for that poor guy, bro. He was sat next to me in a load of classes, and I swear the only thing I remember the guy fucking talking about was ice hockey, how I shouldn't use swear words, and hot dog eating contests. This guy put me on Joey Chestnut early, fam. In Milwaukee, I know they got that funny ass clap music, and that's the absolute extent of my Wisconsin knowledge. It's getting a low C for my OG, man. Shout out. Next up, Minnesota. Okay, I might sound a bit biased, right? But I think this is a state people are seriously sleeping on. It's got some of the best public services in the Midwest, maybe even in the US. Education, public transport, relatively low cost of living. People here are friendly as fuck. Yeah, they might have absolutely abysmal, unbearable, horrific winters, but they got you covered, okay? Minneapolis figured out the most American way to protect its citizens from harsh winters. You simply do not have to go outside. The cities in Minnesota are designed with indoor corridors going between buildings above the streets. So effectively, assuming you have a garage, you can go about your entire day and not breathe fresh air once.
Yeah, I love that. No fresh air. Let's go.
Bro. This is American innovation at its finest. Something about this skywalk system is so satisfying to my brain. I fully want to visit Minneapolis just to walk around endless corridors for the entire day. I feel like that would give me ultimate peace. I actually think this is kind of genius, right? Because it solves the mall problem that the rest of the Midwest has. The reason so many malls in Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana lay
an average of 1,170 shopping malls closed every year between 2017 and 2022.
Completely abandoned and decaying is because people have no reason to drive all the way to a physical non-food related shop and buy stuff anymore. And the idea of a mall is to rope customers of other shops into your shop through IRL marketing. A mall only works if people are walking through subconsciously browsing. Well, all these skywalks obviously have a lot of people walking through subconsciously browsing, and they put shops in them. It's perfect. And it means Minnesota skirts one of the big urban decay problems that every other Midwest state has. I actually think in a lot of ways Minnesota is kind of the best example of how a Midwest state can operate in 2024. But I have to admit, yeah, I do have a little personal bias for this state, right? They got hella Swedes. Nah, not those. I'm talking about Swedish restaurants, shops, cafes, inns, churches, a colossal IKEA, entire Swedish-speaking communities. I'm talking towns called Lindström. They got plaques commemorating the OGs. Their football team is called the Vikings. Oh my god, man. Plus, this state has a load of Somalis too, so I know they're gonna have my samosas on point. Man, this state has gotta be an A. It's gotta be an A. Right, Iowa. Man, I do not know. I was looking up like
Iowa
gameplay about
gameplay,
and consistently one of the main pros seems to be that the traffic is great. There's no congestion on the roads. Yeah, maybe because there's no fucking people there. How can you have a traffic jam if there's two people driving down the highway? They do not have a city with more than 208,000 people. Literally all Iowa do is corn and Slipknot. That's it. I'm not definitively making this call. I'm open to Iowans changing my mind in the comments, but for now, I'm sorry, man. Missouri, on the other hand, is like Iowa, but actually with some notable cities. Well, just about. They kind of just about scraped having both these cities. Firstly, St. Louis. The burgers look fabulous. The pizza looks god-awful, but seems like a half-decent city, I guess. And then we have the city that these guys straight up stole. It's called Kansas City, but it's in Missouri by about 20 miles. Bro, make it make sense. Why the fuck did Missouri get Kansas City? Surely this is unfair, man. Oh. Yeah. Right.
City founders derived the name from the Kansas or Kaw River, which was named for the Kansas Indians. The state of Missouri then incorporated the area as the city of Kansas in 1853 and renamed it to Kansas City in 1889.
This state seems alright to me, but apparently a lot of people hate it. They got poverty, crime, decent bit of meth. Also, people like to state how it's a red state, a free Republican land, but they have these massive, insane jaywalking laws. Like, you have to pay if you get caught crossing a fucking road. Freedom, my ass.
Damn, that's
Y'all ain't
a lot.
got
10
no
days in
rights.
jail.
That being said, it has to be Iowa, so we'll give it a low E. And Kansas seems to me like Missouri, but with less meth and more good old corn. Yeah, corn is becoming a big theme with these states, isn't it? I don't know too much.
Yeah,
about
I've heard a lot of corn now.
But I've been informed from some inside sources, yeah? Lawrence is apparently the spot. I've heard it's a cheeky little unexploited gem, so I would like to visit one day before it gets Austinified. That being said, though, we're really getting into some Great Plains territory with Kansas, and obviously that comes with the dreaded twisters. Kansas is one of the worst states in terms of tornadoes. It's currently under severe tornado risk as I speak. And bro, you're telling me I gotta risk my fucking life and my house being violently disintegrated into dust by the wind just to live somewhere that looks like this? You're fucking tripping, bro. The risk versus reward ain't adding up. You're telling me I gotta live in an
He has a point there. He has a point.
Field, and my op is the air. I gotta beef with the air. Nah, that's crazy, man. Kansas getting a low D just because I want to think it's nicer than Missouri. And I do think the world should get together and make Missouri give Kansas City to Kansas. Nebraska. Oh man, this is where my boy Saul got banished to, man. I can't represent Gene Takovic, bro. Nebraska seems like one dull state. It's either corn or Omaha, and I can't say Omaha seems like the most fun city. This state is so boring. It actually houses some mammoths. Once again, people.
What's boring with that? I want to see that. If you ain't in Cali, New York, Nebraska, Florida, then where the f you at? Dog really tried to sneak in Nebraska, huh?
Risking their lives just to live in Nebraska, which seems even more boring than Kansas. So yous are unfortunately going to be getting a high F. I'm sorry. I know. Now on to the Dakotas, neither of which have a mill. So I'm gonna fly through them pretty quick because I highly doubt more than 10 people from either Dakota are ever gonna watch this. First off, you guys should just merge into one state, let's be real. I know there were some silly arguments back in the day, but come on man, this would make way more sense. North Dakota, they're literally just Canadians. They got Canadian accents. Winnipeg is their closest major city. They gotta deal with temperatures as low as fucking minus 50 degrees. North Dakotans are on average richer than South Dakotans, I guess. Yo, people are actually balling out here for some reason. 6th highest GDP in the country. I mean, it makes sense. You'd have to pay me a serious bag to live up in Fargo, bro. In North Dakota, they got the tallest structure in the USA. The only purpose of which is to make sure they have good TV signal, allowing brain-rotting talk shows to be just as enjoyable in Grafton, North Dakota as they are in New York City. If someone put a gun up to my head and said, I hate to do this, Leo, but you're gonna have to move to one of the Dakotas for the rest of your life with no chance of escape, choose one now or perish, I would definitely go with North Dakota for the reason that I was able to talk about North Dakota for about 20-30 seconds, right? I think with South Dakota I got max 10 seconds. The one and only notable thing about this 77,000 square mile state is that they got Mount Rushmore. That's it. All my
that's where Mount Rushmore is.
Get medium to low E, sorry.
Bye, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please don't forget to give a like to the video and subscribe to my channel. I also stream live on Twitch and on YouTube, so follow me on Twitch or just turn on the notification bell on YouTube to know when I go live. I hope to see you there. Bye!